Trim meer. Can you not eat poo? All right. 1 minute late. God damn it. My apologies. I had to stop the dogs from eating from the litter box. Why? I don't know. They're not the tastiest stuffed treats. So yes, fun times. Zen, I got this. So yes, what am I going to do today? Beyond panicking and stuff, I was thinking to do some takeover for Dee, who's still decked by Nurgle's blessing, bringing offerings of coffee or tea, even better, to his wife. Yes, go do your thing. Oh, what am I going to do beyond yawn and prep for a day at the office tomorrow? I am going to be sketching and doing some ideas. The witch got finished yesterday. Look at the shiny moon. Look at the shiny moon. So I'm gonna take some photos of her because it's fun. Today I had painted a couple of years ago a painting of ferrets for a friend, and for some weird reason either one didn't get shipped, or it got shipped and it got lost in the mail, and I got reminded of it that she didn't receive that one, which is like, oh my god, that one can't be. So I'm going to revisit that idea and do some noodles. Oh, Jesus Christ. But I was thinking to do a space noodle. So let's get my nifty little twirly thingy here. Behold. Hello, Red. So I'm just going to play around a bit with some ideas on like cheap print paper as per usual. And by the way, Red, did you like our YouTube channel yet? If not, you should like it. I think David called it a weird circumcision tool because it's but it's you have like a compass, a passer. Okay, you get to stay, you follow the channel. But if you use the traditional compass, like a passer as you know it, they leave a hole in your paper. And with this one, I can make circles without having a hole in the paper. With sketches, it's usually not that bad. But if I want to watercolor and there's like a small hole in the paper, paint tends to pool there. And we don't really like that one, because it can distort an image quite badly. So, hence, one of these things. They're quite cheap. And always looking at like, yeah, which side did I need to turn again? Yes, like so. So it's awesome. It also has like an indicator on size on the side, but I have never really. There should be a marking somewhere that says when you're at 7 centimeters or something, because this is 7 centimeters, so I assume that this one, well, 8, so I assume this one is completely open. But if I turn it 1 centimeter less, but oh no, I have put a little marking here, but there wasn't one on there. It's a cheap thing in any case. So I was gonna do some noodles, or a noodle in space. But before I start ruining my good paper, I'm sketching on doodling out ideas on cheap Xerox print copy paper, because why not? So I was thinking a noodle in space. But I'm thinking how I'm gonna make the flow go, because they are quite bendy. And you know, if I do a noodle in space, which seems like a fun idea, I can't really do a full what's it called, spacesuit, because that just would look weird. But in regards to noodles, I have references aplenty. I say when I scroll down my phone to look at references aplenty and see the dogs. But like, you know, references aplenty, because that's Tengu, my boy. Beagles, cats. So yes, and for anyone who's wondering, they are spazzy little boys and girls. So yeah, also so adorable. I mean, how can you say no to these cute little nose? So I am going to have some reference images open on my phone on the side initially. Out of the way of things as well. Let's see. Noodle has a very, very distinct, almost very sharp face. I'm thinking if I do the face first, because then I can add the helmet afterwards if necessary. Adjust it to the head and not adjust the... If that makes sense? If not, let me know. Today's music is like a spooky lo-fi vibe list. Just trying to make it cute as well for her. I'm not gonna go for a realistic ferret here, because I could do that one, but you know, not now. Not for this one. Because I still need to figure out whether I'm gonna go for an albino one, like Oni was, or whether I'm gonna go for a... Nah, I think I should go for one with like a bandit mask, to be quite honest. Whiskers. I can't have too big whiskers because then they don't fit in the helmet. So yes, if I'm correct, then I will have some white in here. I might need to look up a traditional ferret pattern, because I'm having issues with... I don't have a traditional white ferret in the house. I have a mixed one, I have an albino one, I have an Angora one who's extremely big and fluffy. And I have a cinnamon one, I think would be the official term. And let's put the ear. They have cute little round ears that they don't really use. Right, I'm gonna give it a bit bigger eyes, because let's make it cute and cutesy and adorable, is my thought. And then they have like a little bandit mask going on. And then they have like a long bendy body. and see how I can do the bendy body, because they really are bendy little buggers. Needs a bit thicker neck. I'm going to put a leg here. I'm going to put a leg. Grim. Sorry, the dog's acting up a bit. I'm going to put a leg here. And the tail can... Oh, I think the tail should go here. God damn it, stupid pencil. Also, I am not really prepared to do this one on stream today, because I'm kind of taking over for D. So if I put one up and then the other one is going to be here. The bendy little buggers. I need to see how I'm gonna do, because they have like cute little claws and hands. Like little stick legs of doom. Just getting general shape down. And if this one works, I'm going to also this one to a Montfal console paper and ink it. Not watercolor it, just ink it bright bold colors. Grimnir, that's the rubbish bin, leave it be. Thank you. So yes. And there's at least something visible on the stream, which is nice. Okay, then I'm gonna bend this leg a bit more, because it doesn't add up that it would be like standing like this. But I like the idea of like a floating noodle in space, kinda. And then I can use my little circumcision tool and see whether I have a big enough. Helmet. I'm just gonna give it one of those classic, you know, old school sci-fi space bubble helmets, because that one seems fun. Normally I would go like, oh my god, I can't breathe in space because there is no oxygen tank or something. Let's not do that one now. Right, I have some lines in red, if it's visible. And maybe it's a bit more visible if I switch my... Well, that one doesn't really do that much. Yeah, whatever. I'm just going to outline them in with light in trusty HB and have a sip of tea in the meanwhile. So let's see. Because now I have a whole bunch of construction lines and whatnot. And the difficulty with a ferret is that if you give them a specific, very typical bandit mask, then people will go like, oh yeah, it's a raccoon. No, Sharon, it's not a raccoon. It's a fucking space noodle. Can't have himself super long whiskers because otherwise they don't fit into the bubble. And I'm trying to get a bit of right, he's going a little truffle nose. Depending on the color scheme I'm gonna go for, that little truffle nose might be pink, might be black, might be... It kind of depends completely on the... But yeah, this is idea one. I might go with it. I might turn it into something different. I am not certain yet. I will promise to make this one, and that kind of has ferrety vibes. Now the question is, how am I going to do the background? Because I like to have it go all spacey wacy, timey-wimey. But I don't know how I'm gonna make the space. I like it to be, you know, illustrative, cartoony, like in vibe. I do like the dangly bit of this one though, because if you pick up a noodle, if you pick them up right, they just hang and dangle, which is funny. They're like, fine, you got me, now what? Which is also funny because they were out earlier today when I was working. Because my dearest hubby took the dogs for a long run in the dog park, and that's usually a good moment to let the noodles out. And I was working, and it's okay, they can run around, I don't care. You know, sometimes my colleagues go like, oh my god, you know, what's that? And Ryu climbed up on me, and was like cuddling and whatnot, and in the middle of everything she just bit my face. I didn't flinch, but you know, I have during a meeting with my colleagues, you know, just pick a noodle from my face and just go like, bitch, please. And don't flinch, like act like, you know, it didn't hurt or I wasn't stunned by it, because she she doesn't really bite anymore. So I think she really got spooked by something. Or she just, you know, tried to establish dominance with my colleagues or something. I don't know. It's just funny that it happened. Not the first animal I've been bitten by, will not be the last. I am a bit quintessential white woman in that context. I like the head so far. I'm not so sure about the body. And my usual soundboard isn't there. We'll see. The idea is to Grim, come on. Sorry, calling the dog who's scratching at the door. Give me 1 second. And I'm back. Okay, I like the back bit. I don't like the front legs. So I need to, itchy, figure out how to do the front legs in a way that I'm happy with it. I will erase them for now. And figure something out. This one goes here. There is going to be at least one leg sticking out, maybe like so. Does this one make a difference? That one makes sense. I might have to do a reference in the Noodleorium to find more. This one feels more flowing. Now to find something for the second one. And I don't think I have a dangly noodle photo. Do I have a dangly noodle photo? That sounds so wrong if you don't know what I'm talking about. I have an entire folder called Pets and Beasties. Noodles. I don't really take photos when my noodles are dangling. That sounds so wrong. I have loads of spicy noodles. I have loads of inquisitive noodles. I have lots of beagles in between. I could do something with a little leg like that. But this one is just hanging a bit more to the side then. Hanging so. What a little cute little paw, and then the maybe cute bunny. So let me see what I can do. Here sits one. That means that the other shoulder, the scapula, sits here. Which means it sits here. I don't mind that it hangs out where it hung before, but I just need to have a... It needs to make sense, if you know what I mean. Let's see, let's define it a bit. So yes, my dearest hobby is taking a rest. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. I only have like cold up noodles to use as a reference. I have chicken. I have stretched out noodle, but not really what I had in mind. You have 20,000 photos, but not the reference that you need. Because in an ideal world, I would like it to have, you know, the little leg out so you see the toe beans. But no. I think I need to go to Google for find the reference. How to pick up a let's see whether there are photos on that one. Problem is, if I look at photos on how to pick them up, they tend to be... This one might actually be useful. I started a bit too low, I think. That was the issue. And a bit more to the side. It's a bit the downside of knowing the animal too well, that I can see where I would perceive things to be. Maybe like a bit motion in there. That is at the right spot. Oh, Jesus. Now I need to look up what will make it spacey. Space. Background. Well, planet seems a bit overkill. And this kind of stuff seems a bit too childish. This is a bit... I don't mind the color scheme, I'm just looking for a fun idea for background. Should I have a planet in the background? Like something floating anyway. Hello. Oh, don't drive like a bat out of hell. Although it is the season for it. I didn't see, I was too occupied in a moon somewhere. Yes, maybe a Jupiter. I am, however, I see several where there is like areas that are just marked out for like colors already, and I like that one because usually when I do like any kind of spacey wacy background, I go for like just random blends, which like this, which works. I've done that one plenty of time. But it might be interesting to actually plan things a bit more, so I can have some color locking in. So the idea with this one is to sketch this one up today. I'm actually thinking I might actually stick with this one. I need to soften this one a bit though, that's my issue. It needs to, but it can be like that, but it just needs to soften a bit. Sorry, I have issues with legs. But so far the design kinda is doing its thing. Yes, I'm very itchy today. I could remove my beanie, but my hair looks like shite. I need to go to the hairdressers, and it's not fully Halloween yet, so I'm not subduing anyone to that. So then I have several bands where I can go purple, pinks, and whatever. And then planets. Let's put a planet or something somewhere. Or a couple of planets. And lots of stars, but stars are easy to do. Stars I can just splash about. I think it's safe to say that tomorrow's teaching session will be cancelled because Dee is still suffering from Papa Nurgle. Yeah, still has a fever. Managed to get him to eat a wee bit though, and make sure he has plenty of fluids and whatnot, but he's a bit yeah, and especially since it turns out to not have, he doesn't have what I have. He really got hit by the stomach bug our eldest had, and with the gastric bypass he had, stomach bugs are a thing to take seriously in his case. I just, don't eat for 2 days, I drink loads, I sleep, and I'm better. But in his case, it's really important that he, both keeps up fluids and gets something to eat so the blood sugar doesn't completely dive. But it will be fine. He's married to a retired healthcare professional, so I kind of force him to eat some and stuff. Let's give it some bands. Yeah, mostly like I'm the mean nurse. I'm the one who pushes you to do things, because I'm like, I'm not gentle. Nurturing is all nice and dandy, but oh honey, do you feel like you want to eat something? Doesn't really help. I just go like, what can you eat, what can't you eat? And you know, he took a couple of bites and I went like, eat. And you know, he put it away, and then after like 10 minutes, come on, eat more, just to get, it doesn't need to be much, but just I'm pushing in that sense. You can hate me afterwards. That's kind of the rule. Well, he won't, but you know. I did the same with our children as well. I have never been... I'm a practical healer. You know, I'm not one of those beliefs that gentle healers leave stinking wounds. That's not what I'm saying. You know, I am, but coddling half of the time does not really work, and sometimes you just need to bite through things. When Monster, I think he was 6-7 years old, and he was at Boy Scouts, and he had hit his head, can have been Peanut as well, hit his head on a fire escape ladder, one of those metal ladder thingies, and on the side of his head had like really like a nice 90-degree angle wound from where he hit the corner of the thing, and about a centimeter on each side, so let's say, you know, half an inch. So we went to hospital, and I'm sitting there with like a head wound, bleeds profusely, putting pressure on it. We get let in immediately, and the doctor just looks at it and he goes like, I'm holding a screaming 5-6-7-year-old in my arms, going like, I can't sedate it. It's 2 shots because it's like, you know, perpendicular thingy, which means I have to put a needle in on both sides and inject sedative in it. It's gonna take 2 stitches to fix it. The needle's gonna hurt equally much as the stitches, and I went like, fine, I know where you're going, I'll hold him down. I'll let them stitch my child up without sedation, because it would have hurt equally much anyway. Why let's, you know, be pragmatic. Yes, it's horrible to have your child, and you know, was I the favorite parent? No, absolutely not. But on the other hand, why would you subdue someone twice to the same pain? I know there are parents who would choose that one, and I'm not judging them on that one, but for me it's just, but that's typical for healthcare professionals. I have an ex-colleague who usually, you know, we're the ones who will like rub some dirt on it and walk it off. The moment we do take our children to an A&E, it's serious. She once went in with her daughter who had really had like a stomach flu for a couple of days, and she was like, okay, fine, we go to the hospital. And because she went like, yeah, you're going in ketosis, which means that, you know, you start to smell acetone and stuff, severe dehydration because the kidneys are starting to protest. And the doctor just looked at her and went like, it's obvious you're a nurse, because it's both a thing of like, yeah, you might still bounce back yourself, and the thing of, let's not, you know, put unnecessary stress on the system. I'm not saying we're better parents like that, you know, I'm just saying we have issues. On the other hand, no doctor will bullshit us in the hospital that easily. And we're nice to the nurses, they keep you alive. Always be nice to the nurses. Nurses keep you alive. The doctor goes like, give that much medication to the patient, but you know, doesn't tell how it should be spread. The nurses go like, ah, Dr. Johnson again. Yes, you need to spread this one over the day. And so we have little Jupiter and we have little Mars, Venus. Ferrets of, if men are from Mars and women are from Venus, which is a book that's completely disproven, I know, then noodles are from Saturn. He wasn't Jupiter, he was Saturn. I blame my dad for that misconception. I have trust issues and it's my dad's fault, and Red can say something about that one. There is everyone knows Stella as being a Belgian beer, means star. Our other Belgium kind of has like two big breweries of beer. Either you're one or the other. Most people from the area where Stella is will drink Stella. Everyone else just goes like, ew, Stella tastes like cat piss, like what the fuck. And they would go for either like a local beer, like here in Antwerp, the Koning, or they would go for Jupiter, which is like a Pilsner made by InBev, AB InBev, so the Anheuser-Busch people nowadays, because, you know, we bought them up, which is kind of funny. So you either like Jupiler or you like Stella. And in our household, we're more a Jupiler Palom, you know, the good quality beer type people. Any Stella people watching this one, you can go suck an egg. Stella is glorified barley water. Yeah, but it gets sold abroad. Shut up. So Jupiler. And my dad, when I was little, said like, yes, you know, the planet with the band around it, with the rings around it, is called Jupiter. Well, he said Jupiler because, you know, that's where the beer gets produced, and on the rings around it, that's where, you know, you've seen movies about how beer gets produced. That's where little bottles come out on the conveyor belt. Now tell that one to a 4 or 5 year old, and of course they fucking believe you. I have trust issues because of that one. But even now, a couple of decades later, whenever I see Saturn, my initial thought is still Jupiter. And I'm like, no, it's not Jupiter. But that split second thought is still there, like the one with the rings is Jupiter, no Saturn. Every fucking time. Because my dad is a bit of a cunt like that. And he's fucking proud of it. So yes, source criticism, I learned it quite early on. He told so many things that, you know, in the end, you know, I'm already Gen X, so I'm cynical as fuck. But then to get, you know, told things that, you know, make you question everything at an early age already is... some of those ones pranks I pulled with my children as well. My dad convinced me at the same age. I stopped believing him when I was like 6 and when I started primary school. He once convinced me that zebras are extremely lazy horses. Go kick Bahamut's butt. Because they wear the jammies all day. Because they have stripes. Makes like perfect sense. Why would you have a striped horse? Yeah, they have the jammies on. And then you get, you know, he also convinced me that he went to school with both Napoleon and Julius Caesar. So on me as a proud 6-year-old, you know, see my teacher have a timeline on the wall where Julius Caesar is mentioned and Napoleon, I went like, oh my god, my dad went to school with those. And my teacher was like, no, I don't think he did. I was like, of course he did. He told me so. Which he didn't. I have proof. So I think I have a very simple design. That can work. sorry. Now the question is, do I make a second one? Or am I going, nah, good enough, and transfer this on? I think I have 2 planets. I could do a rocket, maybe, but nah. This is a space ferret. He's completely in his element, or she. I don't assume gender. Well, I think I have a design that stands, actually. Right, I'm gonna take off my beanie anyway. Oh, my hair looks horrible. Sorry, babes. Oh! Yes, I need to go to the hairdressers. Oh. So everyone watch this stream on a small screen, so it's not obvious that I'm having a bad hair day. I need to be at the office tomorrow, so there's gonna be fuck ton of gel in there. Question is, am I gonna already indicate where there is gonna be stars and stuff? Maybe. Let's do that one. Stars. The more I have worked up on this one, the more I can just take things over. It's kind of like I did with the witch, but the difference was with the witch, this one is a bit more detailed, but I'm still gonna work things up, I think. I'm not certain. So I'm putting small circles where I want the stars to be. Because those ones are gonna get the flare treatment. So yeah, that one works out. A bit of astigmatism in space. But yes, I should sketch definitely more live on streams because I can. I'll do a call. You already killed him? Is that like one you have done before? Is that something completely new? I know Bahamut appears in every game, but you know, I'm like, that's like a bit disappointing. That's kind of like how I usually play a game as well. I have, like, let's say Assassin's Creed or any dungeon crawler. You have so many side quests that, you know, I tend to... Nowadays you have like that adaptive leveling up so that, you know, if your first big boss is... Oh. You don't have a cap on it now? I can't remember. But I tend to, you know, do all the side quests, and in the old games you would have like, your first boss is level 10, and if you're level 1 it was like one splat and you're dead. And I would do side quests like massive, and then, you know, by the time you get to the first boss you're like level 20. And then you go like first boss, you go like jab and they died. Now you get more of the adaptive thing where it goes like, I think Assassin's Creed did the one in like Odyssey for the first time. If you leveled up, that you were level 20 and you hadn't gone to a level 5 zone, that it went up to level 20 immediately, which made it a bit more challenging. Ruined my fucking gameplay though. No, I didn't. So I'm putting a bit of simple astigmatism type star thingies here. Like, you can see I'm gonna work those ones up a bit better. But I am going to have to paint those ones. Ooh. Yeah, I know that they change those things on a regular basis. Well, on a regular basis, when people start complaining and there is no more challenge, they just give you a chance to level up. I saw like an interesting YouTube video documentary thingy, and I use that term loosely because let's be honest, it's quite a lot of people do their research on YouTube, but it's not my level of research yet, so I'm always taking it with a grain of salt. About MMORPGs, MMORPGs, for those who are like me, where went to check on those who have hardly any gamers, because number one, why would a company keep their servers up and running for those kind of things if nobody's playing them? That one I already found weird. But also, it is eerie if you... Yeah, eventually they're gonna get extinct. I mean, to bring back the example of Assassin's Creed, I know that, I think for like Unity, they had a multiplayer version. They still have some bits of it online, but the majority got shut down because after like, I don't know how old that game is, like 12, 13 years, if not older. Nobody's gonna play, like the full experience anymore, and you might keep like a basic thing up and running. And I know that last time I played it, you had like, instead of players online, you had Autobots, Transformers, automatic bots that joined you. So yeah, I they compensate for things, I get it. But it was really eerie to see like, entire worlds, and you see maybe one or two people in the distance. And then you just go like, but why would you still play that game? Why would those 2-3 people still log in? Because there is nothing on the server. There are no other people, and part of the MM is, massive multi-online RPG or whatever. So, and it was actually kind of eerie. It's kind of like the Urbex, exploratory thingies. You just, look around and you just go like, this is creepy. This film really gives like, Yes, but I mean, World of Warcraft is going pretty strong, and there are still, bizarrely enough, EverQuest servers rather. I used to play that one. EverQuest it was called back then. Up and running. Don't get me wrong, but it's just, there are those who are just not getting there, if you know what I mean. And that was really eerie to see. It's like walking into an abandoned hospital, and you just go like, the few people who are there are just creepy, in my opinion, or they're like serial killers discussing their latest. Okay, I maybe have watched too much Criminal Minds and Supernatural, but it just feels off. Like who, why, how? Still, if you know what I mean. You have classics, of course, that never die, and then you have classics that should die. But it was interesting. I have to give that one. It gave food for thought. Also, just just pull the plug on them unless you get some kind of weird tax benefit from it. Pull the bloody plug. I mean, keeping a server up and running, I can give you numbers on that one. That shit ain't cheap. Oh my god, it's in the cloud. Yeah, in the cloud just means that you pay to use someone else's server. Let's call it what it is. What you mean with SE? But I agree, you know, at a specific point it becomes a labor of love for people who are still playing it to have mods and up that, you know, can keep the game running. But you're still dependent on, for lots of things, on the actual server of the Square Enix. Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, the OS I understand because I work with that shit, but I wasn't sure what you meant with SE. No, but I agree. You know, you can't keep on. Also, it's also not safe to do that one because if you have built something that this is my job, I'm so sorry, that runs on a Windows 6 server still. You know, don't do that one. I mean, the thing is like a Swiss cheese when it comes down to security. You know, you also have, as a company, have, you know, especially in Europe, and if you do dealings in Europe, an obligation to keep the data of your users secure. But if you run on old server software, then, you know, yeah, indeed. If you run on old server software, you know, even Microsoft is no longer providing, you know, support on Windows XP stuff. Or everything after that one. You know, you have to go to like a WinServe, I don't know, 2016 at least to get some support. Everything before that one is... Yeah. But even the remastering does cost quite a lot of effort though. And that is, you know, a company needs to weigh its pros and cons with that one. But yeah, you think of it like this, any hacker, you know, would just rub their hands together for just, you know, maybe not a hacker, but you know what I mean, would just rub their hands together if they go like, oh my god, you still run on Windows XP, you know, because the security risks are... Yeah, because you're gonna have to deal with... If you just look at the operating systems in general, if you see what Windows 11 does now compared to Windows XP, you know, those are like, you know, they can barely communicate with each other as it is, and they're made by the same company. So I think one of the smarter things might be to actually put up Linux, because you can mod Linux extremely easy, have like Unix and Linux servers. Because when it comes down to upgrading and keeping things up and running, it's easier to mod. It's easier to make it so that my Linux application can hook up with an Apple or a Macintosh, I have to say this. Or what is it called? An iBook or what? Macintosh, you know what I'm talking about. Or with a Windows PC. It's easier to configure that one in Linux than it is to adjust Windows all the time for the new iterations. But yeah, if they want to keep it running, I think Linux is a way to go. And yes, it is possible to integrate them. Apple is... It depends on what you use it. I mean, if you still do shitloads of graphic stuff, you know, then Apple is divine. You know, your graphics interface and everything, you know, running Photoshop or Adobe on Apple is just, you know, smooth. It's like, you know, new brakes and new suspension on the car. It is nice. But for everything else, no. We have a couple of colleagues who actually use Apple and iBooks because, you know, you have people who use them, so you have to have people who are also internal who test things and do whatever, because, you know, what will our customers do? You know, you always have the couple of, you know, diehards who swear by it, and you know, we need to accommodate for those ones as well. That's why we also have Linux people. But yeah, beyond that one, I don't really see a point in it. They used to have the advantage on things, but I don't really see it. Every time I see a new iPhone come out, and, you know, I know there are lots of people, die-hard aficionados, but you're paying for the brand. It's like, you know, owning a pair of Nike shoes where you just go like, you know what, there are other brands that actually are better for your feet than Nike. It's gonna be interesting to see what they're planning to do. They're gonna have to do something, and they're gonna have to do something soon, because 11 is already so old that in, you know, computer standards it can retire. But I'm not saying anything. I mean, you know, you would be surprised at how resilient some systems can be as well. In most bank sectors, banks and, you know, financial sectors, you know, we still have a mainframe. And mainframes in bank sectors internationally are maintained by a language called COBOL, which is the first computer language that got developed in like the 60s or so, and it still gets used to these days. So if you're young and you have studied COBOL, you have a job immediately, because so many mainframes still run on it. So it's an interesting discussion to have. I'm really curious what they're gonna do with it. Then again, a mainframe is more protected from the outside than, you know, Final Fantasy 14 servers. But I don't know. I do the streams and we have weird tech nerdy talk. David does the streams and it's... No, I can imagine that they don't want to abandon it, but, you know, because it is a cash cow, people still pay their monthly fee for it, and, you know, it's your bread and butter. That one brings in the money for everything else. You can, however, decide to go like, as a company, go like, now we're gonna put it on like a Windows 11. We do a full upgrade to make sure that it gets, you know, compatible with Windows 11. Whether it's, you know, through Linux applications or whatever, or just, you know, plain as Windsurf, whatever. And then you make people, because let's be honest, if you upgrade it to Windows 11, you might lose a couple of paying customers, but the majority, if they don't already have a Windows 11 or a Linux based compatible system, they will get it. And if you do a proper coordination and communication around it, like, hi peeps, from date X you will no longer be able to use it on this one, you need to have then, you know, I don't really see an issue. Complainers you will always have. Nah, I understood what you meant. You will always have complainers. That is just a thing you cannot avoid. Even if you don't do anything, you will have people who complain. If you do anything, there's going to be people like, I like the old shitty graphics more. There is always someone who complains. Trust me. I'm going to be rounding up in 5 minutes. I will be doing a next stream on Thursday. Tomorrow will not be a teaching stream because I will ban David from doing that one. But I think I have a design. Yay! So then I need to transfer it from this onto onto this baby. So I'm going to yes, ring light. Ooh, ring light, ring. You have seen the ring, you will all die in 7 days. Haha. Might use my light board and might actually expand since I have a bit more room on this one. Maybe expand it a bit more, the background. Yeah, but you know, it doesn't require much. I love Medieval, the game. It's one of the first ones I finished on PlayStation, on PSX. I love that game. It's hilarious. Sir Daniel Fortescue, mwah. And I played the second one, and it came out on PSP, I think. I played that one, and 2 years ago it came out on a new game. Came out on PS4. I can stream through the PlayStation Plus one. I can stream the old game. And that one is so angular, but there is also a possibility to get that same game, but with just nothing changed in the levels or anything, but just a bit more polygons in it and a bit smoother textures, and oh my fucking god, the difference. I would love to replay the first 2 Tomb Raider games without pointy boobs, you know? Because they were fun. So yes. Anyhow, it was an interesting discussion. Thank you for that one. I am going to Can I play Tomb Raider without the pointy boobs? Where? On Steam. That's why. On the Switch. I'll look it up. I just don't want to play with pyramid tits, okay? Pyramid Head in Silent Hill was already bad enough. Pyramid tits I can live without. I was always shocked that if I would jump against the wall, that she just wouldn't stick to it because those pointy things, oh my god. If she would sneeze near someone, the dude would be blind. So yes, I will look into it. Thank you for the tip. I'm going to round up though, because my youngest has come home and he demanded food. I will look into pyramid tits or not. Thank you for the tip. I will be back on Thursday to finish this one up, but with inks and you know, make it a very vibrant little illustration thingy. And drop suggestions for what to do after that one. Friday will be Sweaty Friday, which I hope Dee will be back. At least, you know, let's hope it's Sweaty Friday and not Sickly Friday where it's like viewing. But I don't think so. It tends to pass quite fast. But I will keep you posted on Thursday. So with this one in mind, I can only bid you adieu. Say, you know, see you on Thursday. See you next Thursday. And enjoy the rest of your evening, afternoon, or whatever. People who watch it afterwards, give us a like, subscribe, and you know, a comment. What do you think of our discussion about, you know, software and stuff? Let us know. Always happy for the discussion, and see you on Thursday. Bye bye.